everybody. This is Petra Popp for In-Spire-Life, New Ideas for a New World. Very happy to be today together with Dr. Sam Osmanagich. Hello, Sam.
Hello, Petra. Nice to talk to you tonight.
Thank you, Sam. You have visited us in Paris recently, and it was an amazing experience to hear from your adventure around the Bosnian pyramids. Now, let me present you first. You are an anthropology professor in Bosnia, a businessman in the States. You are an expert in ancient advanced civilizations and in pyramid sciences. You have traveled all over the world to visit these pyramids, examine them, learn about them, and do your experiences with them. And you're an author. Your last book was called The Pyramids Around the World. Is that correct?
That is correct, except for the word expert in pyramids. Actually, I've been learning about them. I think a lot to learn from the ancient civilizations, and it seems it was all about the ancient technologies. So I think a lot of interesting knowledge that we can apply to our society today.
And that's what I would love to talk to you about, exactly about that one. Because above all, you have discovered in Europe, which reveals to be the biggest pyramid so far in the world, bigger than in Gizeh, Egypt. There are 5 of them, and they reveal to be very old, about older than 29,000 years. I would like to invite all the spectators tonight to have a look at YouTube, get more informed, because there were so many interviews already around this subject, how this all came about, how this adventure happened for you and the pyramids in Bosnia. All the praise and all the critics that came with it, because obviously they confuse the whole scientific world around history, and they force people to rewrite the history books. But I would like to come back to the now with you and ask you, Sam, what do you, in your feeling, in your expertise, what could be the purpose of these discoveries of these pyramids that pop up all over the world? You just came back from Indonesia, where there was another pyramid that was discovered, and you gave your advice around this, your opinion. Why are they popping up all over, and what do they teach us? Thank you.
You see, for the longest time, we've been taught that the pyramids are built only in Egypt and Mexico, and that's so wrong. The pyramids are built all over the planet, on all 6 continents. Plus, they've been telling us by the very conservative and dogmatic scientists that the Egyptian pyramids are built as tombs for pharaohs. Of course, in the biggest Egyptian pyramids, no mummies, no pharaohs, no hieroglyphic symbols, no tools, no organic material. The time will show that the claim by the Egyptologists in last 200 years that pyramids in Egypt were tombs were actually the biggest hoax in history and in science. In 21st century, like you noticed, we've got discoveries of pyramids all over the planet. Now we realized 250 pyramids in the central Chinese province of Shanxi, pyramids in Cambodia, pyramids in Indonesia, pyramids of course in northern Sudan, 224 of them, and in Egypt, 155. On Canary Islands, Tenerife, dozens of them. On island of Mauritius, in the middle of the Indian Ocean, 7 of them. When I started sending the photos of the pyramids on the island from Mauritius, from Tenerife, to my Egyptian colleagues, they stopped talking to me because they were saying it's impossible. Only magnificent civilization like ancient pharaonic were able to do something like that. Of course, pyramids in Bolivia, 300 of them in Peru, pyramids in Amazon, Tens of thousands in Mesoamerica, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Belize, 200 Cahokia pyramids in southwestern corner of the state of Illinois. And everything they are telling us about them is wrong. American archaeologists are calling them mounds. Actually, they are huge stone pyramids. So the world of the past was the world of the pyramids, including the European soil, southern France, beautiful stone pyramids, ancient Greek territory, 16 of them before the ancient Greeks, and of course Bosnia. 5 pyramids
Okay,
in the heart of Bosnia.
just quickly, excuse me, because we live in France. Where are they in
They
southern
are
France?
they are in southern France and several places. They've been all damaged, and what we are finding there, only the foundations, a
Yeah.
few foundation stones.
Right.
And you can clearly see 4 sides, square base, and those stone blocks nicely fit each other. So, Bosnian pyramids, 5 of them. I first came there April of 2005, and now we realize that the pyramids are not about tombs or sacrificing the enemies. The pyramids are about the geometry, their construction, and then the purpose. Very important. Now, if you have geometry of the pyramid, if you have construction material, if you have, in most cases, perfect orientation, east, west, north, south, like in China, Egypt, Peru, some places in Mexico, Cahokia or Bosnia, then of course we are talking about the pyramids. But not only that, Petra. Now I've realized that there are more properties extremely important. Underground tunnels, the internal passageways, and very often, like a spiral, passageways like in case of Bosnian pyramids. Water, extremely important. And then the materials. They have to have certain energy properties. You did mention Indonesia. I just came back from Western Java. I realized there is a pyramid there. Our friend Dr. Hillman, he realized that after geophysical screening, there is a hill in the shape of the pyramid. He did a lot of geophysical, geomagnetic, geoelectrical, georadar screening. He found internal passageways, he found water, he found chambers. Even the chambers are in the shape of the pyramid, and they are turned upside down, and it's volcanic stone. Volcanic stone equals iron. Iron, electromagnetic fields. The same thing in Bosnia. Below the biggest pyramid in Bosnia, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, which is much bigger than the Great Pyramid of Egypt, we discovered at the depth of 2,240 meters a huge iron plate or iron ore. Iron, of course, generates electromagnetism. Above it, most probably, huge quartz crystal, which magnifies the energy. Above it, a network of underground tunnels, a huge labyrinth. So far, we have cleaned 1,200 meters of this labyrinth, and we always measure the movement of the electromagnetism, 28 kilohertz frequency, inside the ultrasound, the same frequency, 28 kilohertz, which is excellent for the levitation process. Right. And then very low electromagnetism, Schumann resonance, the best frequency for us, 7.83, and a lot of negative ions, tens of times higher than in the outside world. So all this energy flows are flowing through the network of tunnels. The pyramid sucks all this energy, amplifying them. Yes. How do you know that it amplifies? Well, because of those spiral passageways inside the tunnels. And then at the top of the pyramid, we have several energy beams, electromagnetic, atom, most probably some others like orgone energy. So it seems that pyramids were not built for one dead body, that one of king or pharaoh, but for the living communities, for living generations, to be very powerful energy store, energy plant. They would store their energy there, but then they would use it for so many different purposes: communication, transportation, climate adjustment, heating, healing. So it was always about energy. It will always be about the energy. Just how the ancients faced it, it was different than what we do today.
Sure. So what can we do now with these devices? With these, can we apply it? I mean, it's beautiful, and I invite everybody to come to Bosnia. By the way, you allow people to help participate in your foundation, discover these pyramids. I loved what you once said. Everybody can go in there, profit from this ionization tunnels for their health, help uncover these pyramids that are covered with soil, with plants, everything. It's a huge job. You only have, how do you call it, benevolent people, volunteers to help you. So everybody's invited, and there are many people coming from all over the world. And I give the link below this video afterwards, so if people are interested, they're always welcome, right? Especially in the summer months.
Exactly. This is the first time that huge archaeological project is not run by the museums, departments of archaeology, universities, Ministry of Culture, but by the non-profit foundation called Archaeological Park Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun. And we said, in this project, no elite science. We are open for everyone. And we have invited people from all over the world to come and join us, to be a part of discoveries as volunteers. June, July, August, September of every year, we got usually 8 shifts, 2 weeks each. People come, they go through the archaeological training, and then they start digging with us on the pyramids, removing the soil, exposing concrete blocks that covers the pyramid, and that concrete is of the best quality on the planet. And work at tunnels, cleaning existing prehistorical tunnels, discovering megaliths, discovering artificial lakes, discovering huge ceramic blocks, discovering so many things. And then we've discovered also, deeper you go to the tunnel network, you breathe better and better. The concentration of negative ions, which are extremely good for our bodies, they give us additional oxygen, they kill viruses and bacteria, is getting higher and higher. So vibrational level of the tunnels is getting higher as you go deeper, getting closer to the pyramid. So the biggest secrets are still in front of us. What we have discovered so far is so interesting. One of your questions was, what are we going to do with this knowledge? How to utilize it? Well, once you realized that the pyramid shape is the most powerful geometrical shape when it comes to the energy, then you can start developing new science, the pyramid science. What the ancients were doing on the conceptual level, they were placing the pyramids above natural sources of energy, electromagnetism, underground water streams, ley lines. Once they placed the most powerful geometrical shape, they were getting perpetual motion machines. Look what we do today on conceptual level. We use coal, dirt industry, we use oil and gas, limiting, build very expensive power plants, we build very expensive power lines, losing 20 to 50% of the energy. And then we are getting very expensive energy. What the ancients were doing, they were getting clean energy, wireless transportation, they were getting free energy. That's what we can do. We can start thinking like ancients, not how to confront with Mother Nature, taking all the resources, but how to work with our mother planet. That's why the ancients called it mother, because it was, it is, it will be always our mother, unless she gets rid of us. And to use sun, our father, solar energy, but not only the energy and the warmth, it gives us the information. We need to start thinking on the higher level. That's why the ancients in some aspects were in front of us. They don't have technology like we do, but it didn't mean that they could deal with some other challenges in much better way. I think a lot to learn from them.
Thank you. So do you think that these ancient civilizations came from outer space, what many theories are trying to tell us now? What is your opinion about this? Or were they just living before on Earth and have been extinguished or have left to other galaxies or so? What do you think?
The pyramids actually can give us so many interesting answers. Uh, they teach us in school that everything is about the evolution. Before we were primitive cavemen, today we are the most intelligent, the most technologically advanced, the most beautiful. Well, we are not. It's a cycle after cycle after cycle. Even when it comes to humanity. The last cycle, 8,000 years, everything started with Sumerians, Babylon, Akkad, Assyria, ancient Egypt, ancient India. Before this one, there was another one which ended 12,000 years ago, and another one, 18,000, and another one, 55, 75,000 years. So, in the history of humanity, we have at least five cycluses, cycle after cycle. Is it possible that in one of them, humans, Homo sapiens sapiens, intelligent man, was spiritually much more advanced than us? It is very possible. Is it possible that they were finding information from, let's say, Akashic records or some other spiritual realm in order to deal with the challenges? For example, the transportation of very heavy blocks. What we do today on conceptual level, again, is the most primitive way, because what we do, we fight the gravitational force with the huge forklifts or cranes. But the only challenge you have is how to neutralize gravitational force.
Right.
Instead of using cranes, there is a way to do it, like using frequency or sound or mental powers or something else. So when we are discussing possibility that humans built pyramids, it is very possible, but not humans like us. Humans that were thinking differently with very advanced spiritual senses. Besides our five physical, we don't have only one spiritual like they are teaching us, the sixth sense. We used to have 30 advanced spiritual senses. So that's one possibility. But then when we see the pyramids, like in Egypt, these pyramids are at the same time the biggest and the most superior. In China, out of 220 pyramids, the biggest one are built from sandstone and granite, and the most recent from the mud brick, inferior. So, instead of the theory of evolution, actually, it seems that the knowledge about the pyramids have been brought
Yes,
to us, either developed by very advanced humans or brought by somebody else more advanced than us. Since I'm a scientist, until I have very solid scientific arguments, I cannot tell you if that knowledge was brought from the out of this planet, it's possible, or from the surface of this planet, it is possible also by different civilizations, or from the inner earth, it's possible also, or from some other dimensions. We simply have to stay open for different options until we get definitive proof about the original builders.
It is also very interesting, Sam, when we think of what you've mentioned, that Tesla was born only about 300 k's away from where the Bosnian pyramids are right now, and he has experienced what he called this anti-Hertzian energy, right?
Well, exactly right.
So,
Tesla was experimenting with a transformer, which we call today Tesla's coil. He was able to send an energy beam wirelessly 115 years ago in his lab in Colorado Springs, from one end of his lab to another one, 55 feet away, and he was able to light up the light bulbs, even if they were burned. And what I very often mention in my lectures, before they burned down his lab, because he was becoming a threat to the mainstream science, he was so advanced, he was 150 years ahead of his time, he sent energy beam to the ionosphere. It reflected, it was coming back to the earth much stronger. And this is the phenomenon that we could call non-Hertzian waves. And then he lit up 10,000 homes in Colorado Springs. So for the first time, one scientist in our civilization cycle has proven that clean energy was possible, that non-Hertzian phenomenon was possible, that wireless transportation was possible, and then that unlimited quantities of energy were possible, and finally that free energy was possible. Of course, the capitalism, the profit economy does not like free energy. How they're going to sell it and make money? So instead, they were building very expensive power plants, and now we have the society, elites, minority, and general public who doesn't have almost anything. It's a very sad situation, and I would say that once we have free energy available, accessible to everyone, it will be the first pillar of the free society. And I used to say that the second pillar will be free flow of energy. With those two pillars, we're going to build a society of free women and free men, and that day will come, and all of us, humans, we deserve that day and that type of society.
I absolutely agree, and I hope it will come through very quickly. Sam, this pyramid in Bosnia is still active, right? It's still working, but I've noticed, and it seems to be not, the point seems not to be quite there. And also there's a slope that seems to be quite, there are three sides that look really pyramidal in this tetrahedron form.
Right.
But the fourth one, it seems to be very large. Why is that?
Now, the pyramids are extremely old. They have thousands of years. Due to the weather, wind, rain, and so on, a lot of dust and soil and vegetation. Now, remember, Bosnia is in the same climate belt like China or Mexico or Guatemala. And all those pyramids have been covered by soil and vegetation. Those going south, like Egyptian ones, they're in desert, different climate. Peru, desert, sunny, no rain. That's why they are open, anybody can see them. But those in China or Mexico, Guatemala or Bosnia, you cannot really see them, but you can see the pyramidal structure covered by soil. I've seen hundreds of pyramids in Mesoamerica. You cannot recognize them anymore. You don't have such a beautiful faces, triangular face, triangular sides, sharp edges, sharp corners. In the case of Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun, three sides have been preserved: east, north, west. However, the southern slope is rounded. Why? When we did the digging, we concluded that the layer of soil is about 1 meter on three preserved sides.
Right.
But on the fourth one is about 10 meters. Between what we call the pyramids of the sun and the lava, there is tectonic crack. So most probably a huge earthquake in the distant past. Yeah. The earthquake caused that concrete blocks collapse. Without those concrete blocks and only with clay, you got so much more soil, about 10 meters. And 10 meters made that side to look rounded. Right. So you mentioned at the beginning of this question that this pyramid works. It does, but not like during the original times. We do measure on the top of the pyramid electromagnetism, 28 kHz frequency, and ultrasound, and inside the pyramid. However, imagine the original shape of the pyramid: 4 triangular faces, perfect orientation, east, west, north, south. All the tunnels are clean, the energy flows freely, and that energy feeds the pyramid. Then, thousands of years back, the pyramid was working properly, generating huge amounts of the energy. Now, when it comes to the age, in 2013 we found a piece of fossilized leaf between 2 layers of artificially made concrete, like in a sandwich. So during the construction, the wind brought that leaf, it remained there. We did analyze it to the radiocarbon dating, C14 analysis, the age 29,200 years, plus minus 400 years. So imagine, for almost 30,000 years, this machine has been working, well, not with the same intensity, but it's still remarkable that it does work today. So it is perpetual motion machine. And that is one of the goals of our civilization, to develop technology At such stadium to say, hey, we can make machines, they will work forever, we don't need to worry about the energy, about the transportation, about the, well, then we can do the stuff we are supposed to do as humans.
I love it. Thank you. And tell me, just last question, please, about the pyramids. What do you think is their purpose concerning communication? Because there seems to be this grid that's installing, this energy grid above.
Once you have a lot of energy, then it's up to your imagination how you're going to use it. Imagine this scenario. On the top of the Sun Pyramid in Bosnia, you got this energy beam going up, and we measure it every 10 feet or every 3 meters, and the signal was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Theoretically, it could go through the ionosphere to any planet of our solar system or to any planet of any other solar system in our galaxy. Then you can establish the energy bridge between two planets.
Right.
You can start sending frequencies, information. So the pyramid in that case becomes a very powerful communication device. Today in 21st century we are not capable of doing that. With the pyramids you can do that. And then when we think further, our bodies, well, they are just frequencies. The difference between us and plants and animals and Mother Planet is in frequency. So theoretically, if you can move the frequencies through the pyramid beams, there is a way probably to do some type of the, teleportation. So the pyramids are becoming very powerful on several levels. Also the healing aspects. It's negative ionization, but not only that, we realized that once you get to the tunnels, your aura, bioenergy field expands. You go on the pyramid of the sun, getting this time solar energy, cosmic energy. That aura got more evenly distribution. So then, with expanded aura, you can develop your spiritual senses. With developed spiritual senses, you can travel through time theoretically, you can hear other people remotely, you can communicate telepathically. Hey, then all the options are open for us.
One can feel it very strongly when connecting with people like you, like others, like Michael Tellinger and so on. You bring this to the world. You take it from these places while you're connecting to these places, this vibration, and you send it truly out to the world. And it's very amazing what influence it can have. Thank you, Sam. If there's a spectator that faces a lot of controversy, as you had faced, even though you were praised at the same time, and people were just amazed what happened in your life, but for the difficult moments, do you that have experienced all these very great heights and deep lows, just one hint, what do you do when you face a lot of controversy and you don't know anymore what to do? Could you just give a good...
Right. We are bringing new progressive ideas, and there is always those who want to keep the status quo. There are people with a lack of knowledge. What they're going to do? They're going to attack you. There are people who are jealous. They're going to attack you. There are people, who don't want someone else to make changes. They want to run everything like the elites. They don't like, they attack you. They try to discredit you. Then you realize, that they have powerful media. They have some other people who do their dirty jobs, like professors at the smaller universities or smaller countries. But then, you need to know that if you follow your noble goal, if you follow your dream and you have your scientific way, you should not be thinking about those who attack you from left and right. Because if you do, if you start communicating with them on the same level, then you're sending and you generate your bad energy left and right, then you lose your compass. Instead of going straight, going after your noble goals. And that's the way to do it. And you need to be smarter than them, you need to be more open than they are. And then, really, you need to show them the way. They attack you, you just tell them, hey, why don't you join me? Why don't you see what we have? Come with us. Send them positive energy.
I would like to close on this beautiful word. Thank you so much, Sam. It was an adventure. Thank you.
Thank you, Petra.
Please come all to Bosnia, experience these pyramids. I will go for sure this year. And anybody who wants to join you will find the coordinates below this interview, as I said. And I wish you all the best and that you will get all the fruits that you deserve now. And thank you for your work in this world.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Sam.